grace, and peace. My name's Ryan, and I'm the Moviepasstor. I like to watch movies with my movie pass and think theologically about them, interpreting them the way I interpret texts like the text of the Bible. I'm also learning how to do a YouTube channel for the first time, so I hope you enjoy the new camera setup I've got going. Zombieland 2 presents an interesting challenge for me. That's the movie I'm going to be talking about today, because I didn't really like it very much. I don't know. I just liked the first one a lot better, and I thought this one was a little weak. But I don't want this to be a movie review channel. I think every person should do the things that they're best at, the things they're uniquely gifted for. I think there are other people that are better than me at judging movies on their merits. And what I'm really trying to offer is the ability to read movies and talk about what they're trying to say. So it's not my job to judge a text so much as to look at what a text seems to be trying to say and put that into conversation with other texts like the text of the Bible and ideas from Christian history and theology so that we can talk about those things. Zombieland 2 actually, despite its weaknesses, does that strangely well. I think at its core, it's really a movie about home. It's about finding home. The first line is about going big or going home, and the last line is about how we found home. And throughout the movie, it's this travelogue, going from home to home to home, finding home first in the White House, and then looking for a mobile home, and then going to Graceland, one of the idealized homes of one of the characters, and then finally to Babylon. And it gets to the point where it's like, are they doing this on purpose? I mean, did they know I was going to be doing this series, or why would they call it Babylon? They ask that question in the movies, like, oh yeah, did you name it after the Hanging Gardens? No, we named it after that awesome song. Okay, that's... But what's that song about? Well, anyway, I find it ironic, and if you're not on the same page with me, the Hebrew people, and through much of the Old Testament, participated in this travelogue that took them from the Ur of the Chaldees into the Levant, what would later become the Promised Land, down into Egypt, up through Sinai, back to the Promised Land, and then away to the Babylonian exile. And in Babylon, for the Hebrew people, as for the people in Zombieland, the people were disconnected from their defining idea, their central reason for existing, that gave them their identity. For the Hebrews, the Ivri people who cross over, traveling people, that was the worship of God. And for our heroes in Zombieland, that was killing zombies. Their guns were taken away and melted down. Interesting, evocative image in Babylon. And so how do we live in Babylon? And what are we about when we're in Babylon? The movie asks us. And it gives an answer that I think the Old Testament would agree with, that we're going to find a new way to be ourselves. And our heroes have to find a new way to kill zombies, and they do it without guns. They do it by sending zombies off of the Tower of Babylon, because Babylon's got a tower. And after going into Babylon, after going into the diaspora, the people in Zombieland return, and they find that they have the ability to make their home anywhere. That is such a Jewish idea. It's not so much a Christian idea. I think for Christians, there's a lot of belief that we're not at home, and that we're citizens of heaven. But for the contemporary Jewish people, there's this idea of making your home in the text that very much aligns with the conclusion of Zombieland Double Tap. That's interesting. There were a couple other explicit theological references in the movie. At one point, Jesse Eisenberg's character meets a doppelganger of sorts, a person named Flagstaff who acts just like him. And in place of Columbus's rules, Flagstaff has commandments. And they compare the rules to the commandments, 1 to 1 to 1. These reasons why these nerdy, weak characters are still alive, and they realize that they actually have a lot in common. The lists are very similar. And Jesse Eisenberg even says, like, oh, mine's less biblical. I think that's really interesting, and I think that's surprisingly good theology. A lot of people think that commandments are arbitrary rules God gives us just for the sake of it. And in Zombieland, as I think in real life, in the Bible, commandments keep us safe. Commandments are recommendations for how to live in the wilderness. And so that was interesting. And then we got one other really explicit biblical reference. It was kind of a cheap shot, but I feel like I have to mention it. And that is when Madison, the really dumb character, says, is the reason you don't want to have sex because of Jesus? Because I know ways around that. And I mean, that was, it was not an intelligent moment. It was kind of a dumb joke. But again, I don't think I have to defend Jesus here. I think he actually gets his vindication inside the film, because when Columbus goes through and violates his own sexual ethics, that comes up to bite him, and it ends up hurting him and hurting Madison and hurting Wichita. And so again, these reasons we have commandments, these reasons we follow our morality is to keep us safe. And so I don't know who was Jewish that was involved in the production of Zombieland 2 Double Tap, but they've got pretty good theology. I wish they had better jokes. The best joke really was saved for after the credits. Thanks for watching. If you've got opinions, or if you think I'm off base, I hope you'll argue with me, because argument, again, that's another very exalted theological idea that is, well, anyway, God bless.
And when in scenes of glory I sing the new song, 'twill be